I don't text my mother enough, and it's a thought that has recently popped up a lot. Just due to my lifestyle. Because today I finished the 9 to 5 shift after my work, and I received a text from my mother asking when I'm coming back because I live away from my parents right now. I work part time and I also juggle it with university, and it's just always seems like an endless cycle where I'm just constantly taken by that flow of work to uni to work to uni, and I tend to forget about a lot of things that are important in life but aren't directly impacting me right now, such as spending time with family, spending time with my mother. Because I received a text after work today. No, not just during the day. She asked, when are you coming back? I said I was at work. um and it hit me because I looked at the last few messages and it was the same messages over and over. It said, when are you coming back? I'm at work. I'll find a time or something along those lines. And suddenly I realized I hadn't been home for more than 2 weeks. And it really struck me because I felt like I've just been stuck in this endless cycle and haven't made time to go back and appreciate, my mother and how hard she's working as well. I don't live too far, it's like a 30-minute drive, but the traffic can get really bad. There's really no excuses for it except I have been lazy, and I should have texted her more. Coming up to Mother's Day, I've really realized how, for so many days, I've kind of really just been ignoring because I've just been so, you know, stuck up with all this assessments, then to work and the assessments. I just found it really difficult and convenient for me to like inconvenient for me to go back. Um, but I'm it's really been tough to go back. But for Mother's Day, I'll definitely go back to see her. I'll bring flowers and really spend some time with her because she's really lonely. My, you know, she's she's like around almost 60 now. And my parents don't really have a great relationship with each other. Um, but I've just reflected recently growing up, like it's been really hard for me to express my feelings to her directly. It's really hard for me to say I love you to her, even though, saying that right now, it makes me seem like a horrible person. I do feel like a horrible person for that. But I hear other people, they can just say it so easily. And I'm like, damn, why am I like this? I feel like such a bad son. Um, but growing up, we've never really expressed this kind of love to each other. We never really said it directly. Usually in Chinese culture, mothers would express it through, doing so acts of service like, maybe cooking you food, asking if you're hungry, things like that. But still, I'm not sure if she knows that she is loved. Um, yeah, and I hope I'm able to say it when I go back this time because usually it's always like we never confront things like that. We always just talk about how life's been like work, uni, things like that. Um, but today I was especially tired after work, and I felt like, dude, my back started even hurting. Like I never had that before, and came back home, really just flopped on the bed and fell asleep for an hour. I just couldn't move a single muscle. But then I got the energy to get up, go to the gym, and in that period of time, I was really reflecting, like, what's it all for in the end? Because I'm sacrificing so much time and energy, and I've barely been able to see those who I love around me. Um, and there's that graphic where after you move out, you really have already spent the majority of your lifetime that you'll spend with your parents. The rest of it is like won't be much longer. You're already past that phase where you'll, spend the most time with your parents. You have like maybe 40, 50, 60 years left to live after you move out maybe. But in the first 1 to 18 years, childhood to young adulthood, that's where you've already spent the majority of your time with your parents. If you see them once a week for the rest of your lifetime, sure, you have more years, but it's never going to amount to how much you spent back when you were a kid. Um, but this Mother's Day, what my message would be is, dude, like mothers, they give you unconditional love and support. Like no one else in this whole world would ever give you that. There's no one else in this whole world who wants good for you, who wants to support you, who wants to do things for you with like nothing in return. Like I know there's this culture online where you got to retire your parents. People are just so pressured. Young people are so pressured into trying to make so much money so they can retire their parents quick. I know that is a good goal, but it makes a lot of people feel like that's the only way they can express their love to their parents. But that isn't the case. That really isn't the case. I know they're working hard, maybe jobs they don't like, but simply if you let them know they let them know you're grateful for them, let them know that you appreciate them, that goes such a long way that to them for them, like they're not gonna ever forget that. Instead of thinking like the only way is to make a lot of money to retire them. First, it's very difficult and it will take a long time, but also it might not, it will, like they're gonna receive the same, if not more, appreciation, feelings of being appreciated, just if you hug them or, talk to them. Because I realized recently, um, for her birthday, I bought some clothes and I noticed, she really liked wearing things with flowers on them, and I picked the color and pattern for that. So when me and my girlfriend went back and she met my parents, we gave the gift, and I, I'm not someone who can express directly. I'm someone who just gives it and be like, here's your gift, and then that's all. But at that dinner, my girlfriend, she's really expressive. She can say things directly like that. And she goes out like, yeah, you know, Andy picked the color for her because I noticed this that I didn't say anything, but she just went on and on, and it was just really emotional because that was the first I saw my mother first time feel so happy, so grateful, like she couldn't stop smiling. Um, Usually we're not like very expressive towards each other, and my girlfriend just said everything I wanted to ever say that was deeply repressed inside of me that I couldn't really get out. And that just got me so emotional. I even started to just cry in front of my family, which was a little embarrassing, but it my mother appreciated that. She knew that it really came from the heart, and we hugged it out. And um, at that time, I was like, damn, I felt like I started crying because I felt like I was such a bad son. I was such a shit son for never being able to say that out while my girlfriend just could, just continue going on and say everything I wanted to ever say. And I was like, yeah, I felt like I was such a shit son at that time that I started crying. I'm like, I've been, I told my mom, I was like, I've been such a bad son. I've been treating you so badly. But she comforted me. She's like, she knew I loved her. She knew, um, it's just, hard to express that out loud. But coming up to Mother's Day, that's what I wanted to really talk about. Um, I don't text her enough, and I really should be texting her more. It's just so incredibly difficult with life after um living alone. It's always this constant pressure and cycle that tires me out. It wears me out so hard coming back from work to do assignments, and it really got me questioning: is this what I truly value in life? Is this truly all worth it in the end? Because sure, I can sustain myself right now. I make a little bit of money, but to trade all that, um, not being able to really see my parents much, is it really worth it in the end? So I'm gonna be really contemplating on that, thinking about that. Um, but yeah, I respect the hell out of people who can work a 9 to 5, support themselves, living alone. It's so difficult because it drains all your energy. It really does. And I feel like I just want to come home and just face plant on the bed every single time. Or like use something to escape, like video games, or yeah, that's basically my biggest vice. That's, you know, stress reliever, just playing video games, just wanting to shut the entire world out, wanting to just sleep in bed for like 3 days straight and not answer anything. But it's really sad because I remember when I was a kid, I used to have so much time, free time. We all had so much free time, and now working a job, I all the history of my messages with her is just, where are you? I'm at my work. When will you come back? And I'm just like, I'm not sure, because where I live, it's really close to work. If I were to go back, it really makes it so difficult to get to work on time. But that's the challenge of life. But yeah, I don't know. It's a privilege. It's a real privilege to be able to continue to spend time with family and loved ones, and balance everything out in life. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today, and hope everyone has a great Mother's Day. Hope everyone, you know, appreciates your um gives the appreciation your mothers deserve. But yeah, thank you so much for listening.